Okay, we are now into the final module of the course, that is module 11. We are expanding the dimensions of the desktop flows. We are going to see different things beyond the conventional approaches that we have been seeing, the usage of the desktop flows, how it expands to newer dimensions. The topics that we are going to go through in this course are: first is the hosted RPA. I'll explain what that is. Then the picture-in-picture feature, creation of custom actions, and Power FX. And one of the features of Power FX, it's not a feature of Power FX, it's a feature of programming language, but how string interpolation is used in Power FX, I'll be explaining. And we'll sum up with licensing information for Power Automate, certification, any important links and references required for you to continue your journey. All right, so let's begin with our first topic, that is hosted RPA. Now, what this is, we have seen machines and machine groups, how our bot can run on different machines, or we can create a group of machines. But hosted RPA is a feature where Microsoft offers you the capability of hosted machines or machine groups, meaning they will host the machines for you. Of course, there is a license separate for that. So they will take care of the infrastructure and setup and everything. So it's like that kind of a concept. And the key distinction is that these machines are hosted and managed by Microsoft. Microsoft will host your virtual machines on Azure infrastructure, which will allow you to run attended as well as unattended RPA automation without needing to handle the setup yourself, meaning your organization's IT team need not take care of that. It will be taken care by Microsoft. And I have a link here. It's a concept to go through. I will explain a few things on this, but when you open this link, you need to go through all these tabs. And the part that I will be explaining is, I've opened that link that I've put up in this slide, and I'll take you through to some important concepts about that. So this is Power Automate hosted RPA. So let me maximize this. What hosted machines are used for? They are used for attended and unattended RPA, but by citizen or pro developers to build or test the automation. Not for production usage I'm talking about here, or for business users to run their automation. Like if I am a business user on a day-to-day basis, I run some automations required for my business, I will use the hosted machine. It could be either attended or unattended RPA. Whereas hosted machine group is used for unattended RPA in production. It will optimize your resources for higher efficiency. Why? Because it will do a dynamic load balancing. It will automatically switch to another machine if one machine is occupied and so forth. Automatic scaling will happen. And what you need to do is, regarding the infrastructure, either Microsoft will give you a blank machine with no softwares installed, or let's say if your bot needs SAP, then you can give them a SAP installed machine and they will create a mirror out of it, a mirror image, and they will give you that type of hosted machine. So both are available. So anything important? Yeah, using Microsoft hosted machine, it will free up the resources, and of course costs will be reduced, because with a minimal license cost they will be taking care of that. Yeah, of course, setting up of RPA infrastructure manually is time consuming. If your own IT has to do it, it can take days to get the machines for automation. Starting from the initial machine request, all that part will be taken care by Microsoft. The installation, the assignment of machines. Yeah, and then yeah, if you need more advanced automation for specific desktop applications, you can bring your own virtual machine image. This is what I was talking about. There is something called as Azure Compute Gallery. You can inform about this to your IT, and they will communicate with Microsoft and get a virtual machine image based on the machine that you want. For example, specific softwares on that machine where bot will interact with. You just give them that, bring your own virtual machine image, and they will make a copy of it. So some features: hosted machines give developers a quick and simple way to build, test and run desktop flows without providing or setting up any physical machines. So you don't need to create that. Let's say you want to run it on a virtual machine. You don't need to bring your own machine, so it will be made available and make it easy for the developer. When testing is complete, the desktop flow can be deployed on a single machine to support individual business users. We are talking about now business users running both attended as well as unattended. This is about single machine example. It can also be assigned to a group of machines, that is a machine group, meaning hosted machines and hosted machine group. Here, this is a feature. It will automatically react to spikes in demand and automatically scale up the infrastructure. If, as I said, bots will run on another machine if one machine is occupied and so forth, it will be taken care of. Thus, thereby you will balance the load dynamically. So yeah, as I said, these tabs are there to, if you want to understand more about it, or if you want to tell your IT about this feature of Power Automate Desktop hosted RPA, keep this in mind, keep this link. You already have it in your links document, share it with them. So machines tab of cloud portal. So now I'm going to the cloud portal and I have a machines tab over there among the different tabs on the left hand side. All right, so this is the machines tab, and why I brought up this is here, the menu is there, the ones that we are talking about. Discover RPA with zero infrastructure. You don't need to do anything about the infrastructure. Hosted RPA enables you to build, test and run automation at scale. That learn more link will take you to the documentation, and if you click on plus hosted machine group, it will go ahead and give you screens to create this type of setup that we are talking about, and you will be able to see here the machines and machine groups also. Okay, the VM images also that I was talking about, the either a plain simple Windows machine or an image of any machine that you provide them. Good with hosted RPA? Can we proceed? Okay. So we have a concept called as picture in picture, PIP. This is there in some of the other RPA tools. So what it happens is many a times a business user, a citizen developer or anyone, if they want to do their day-to-day work on their own machine, let's say I want to do my daily tasks on some other application like Excel or SharePoint or anything else, but at the same time I am also a person responsible for running the bots for my own business purposes. I'm a citizen developer. In that cases, this machine will be occupied when the bots are running. The bots could run for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 hour, and so on. So the bots running of the bots will be interrupted by my manual work, or my manual work will be interrupted by the bots. Let's say there is screen scraping actions, UI elements, selectors, clicking, mouse strokes, send keys. If all those are running on my machine, I won't be able to do my day-to-day tasks. So for that, Microsoft has given the PIP, or the picture in picture option feature. So what it does is, from where you can run this option is, there are multiple ways. Can you see here? I have already enabled it, and that's why it's showing us disabled picture in picture. So what it does is, you can see this is a picture in picture window opened, and my desktop is similar to this. It has created an exact copy, an image of my own desktop. My desktop is at the back, and this is a session created out of that desktop. It creates an exact session, and inside this window your bot will run and work on my own tasks. So I just kept that window open because when I run in picture, it takes a time to create that session and open up. And some features are like view only. If I toggle this on, I won't be able to click this, but if I remove this, I will be able to click inside. And you know what, if there is any attended automation, for example, can you see if I click this, it got selected. So if there is any UI based automation, some screen comes up. Yesterday we went through custom forms. If we need to enter something into some text boxes, click buttons manually, or go to Excel, we can all do it on this PIP session window. And again, minimize it and continue its run. You continue your work on your desktop. Any questions about PIP feature? Now I'm back to my own desktop. So there are multiple ways. I select this, I have a drop down here called as, when we went through the initial sessions, we saw I run on desktop, run in picture in picture. So as a business user, I will come here and simply click on run on picture in picture. It will open up this window as a replica of my machine and run the automation inside that machine and not on my desktop. So you can try it out with a simple maybe run application, open a notepad or open the calculator application, run it in picture mode and see what happens, how it goes. You can even try running the RPA challenge. So the different areas where this can be used is from the main console, from the more actions ellipsis, from the flow properties, from the flow designer, and even from the cloud flow. I'll come to the cloud flow, but the few areas that I showed are, one is from this drop down, and this is open, that's why it's disabled. If I go to properties, if you toggle this, set as default for local attended runs. So if once you toggle it, you can forget about it, and whenever you run it, it will automatically every single time open the picture in picture session mode. So there, and inside the flow designer also. So now I'm coming inside my flow, inside the debug window. So it is enabled already. That's why that window had opened, and you can simply disable here, or next time onwards, you can enable picture in picture. And when you click on the run icon over here, it will open a new window of the PIP. Okay, there is a link called as extended reading, which will allow you to understand certain limitations because it's still evolving this feature, and obviously it's something out of the box. So you need to into that link and read the limitations and workaround section. Like for example, every time some issue is there, Microsoft will release a workaround for it. So you need to keep a watch on that and current limitations before going ahead with any use case in your organization. And the one I wanted to show you was the cloud flows, the last option here. Remember, this is the runner flow built with Power Automate Desktop connector from Cloud Portal. So once you open that, you select the desktop flow, you select as attended run, and if you need to set any parameters of this connector, you can do that. Right now, attended mode is selected, and when you click the drop down, it shows run it on your desktop, which is the default option, or run it in picture mode. Yeah, I'll zoom it a bit. Can you see now? If you select picture in picture in that drop down, it will, oh, it went into the next slide. So this is the option from the cloud flows. Clear with all of the options? Okay. If you have to ask, then obviously we have got actions here. But if you want to build your own action, a custom action, and put it over here, then it will show up in the see more actions list, or I'm just scrolling it down. But yeah, the point I'm trying to say is if you want, yeah, this is the asset library. It can also be accessed from this here. I'm hovering my mouse. Let me close this. Yeah, assets library. So once you build an action, a custom action, it will show up here, and then it will come up in the list of actions. And the procedure for that is a pro code approach. And let me go to the list of, this is the different tabs from that link. So you will need, as prerequisites, you will need Microsoft .NET, Visual Studio, yeah, custom actions and desktop flows. So these are the different tabs that I was referring. There is a separate action software development kit for .NET reference. So how to create custom actions, how to upload, how to use them. The one that you want is this, build custom actions in Power Automate Desktop. After reading through all those pages, because this one takes you step by step through how to create. As you can see, we'll go through the prerequisites. You will need the latest version of PAD, obviously, a C# authoring tool such as Visual Studio, Professional and Enterprise Edition with .NET Desktop Development Workload. That's a feature. Again, a Custom Actions SDK, a Nugget Gallery. From there, you can access the SDK. Yeah, the Power Automate Desktop SDK, digital certificates to sign the certificates, all these, the sign-in tool, it requires some signing, and Windows PowerShells, which is generally there on our Windows machine. So starting with this step by step, it explains how to create, how to access this pro code approach. So it's a long procedure. You'll have to quietly sit down, go through it, read the other tabs. And this particular example, you can see this is the asset library they are accessing. So user custom action activity in the desktop flow using the Power Automate for desktop from the assets library section of the designer. Once you click that, it will open up a screen like this. Even just now I had opened it on my screen. Let me just try it again, show it again. This is the assets library that's been shown. So it's also used for other things, but custom actions is one of the things. So this is the list of all the cloud connectors that they have brought up recently in the Power Automate desktop. And here is the custom actions tab. If I don't have any, it will not show any. And the UI elements collection that we went through. But coming back to, yeah, this is an event logger, a custom action created in this particular example by Microsoft. This, and then can you see the same log event to file is now showing up in the pad flow designer under the actions pane, under the custom actions section after you build and go through all those steps. Now they have explained what this action does. It takes a log file name and a log message. If you give, then it will write it, then how you will use it. Let me see if it's used anywhere. Yeah, it's used in line number 4, log event to file. So they have given an example of usage. Then test the flow. Here is a GIF of the testing. It has opened a notepad text file, I believe. And yeah, this is a better view. This is, yeah, running something based on the action in line number 4. And when you go to notepad from the run menu, you should be able to see what that action did. It logged a message with some date timestamp. So everything, even if you want to give a tooltip text for that action, for example, when I hover my mouse over this, what does it show? Extract text from a PDF file. Even that you can configure from the steps mentioned over here. Anything related to action. This is the, if you need to update and redeploy your custom action, let's say you want to make some changes to it in future, all this is mentioned. Yeah, this time they have added a logging level message, updated the action, new box. Then they're showing it in a run. So yeah, you have to go through all the sections and build a custom action from scratch using the instructions. So this is a link, which is what I was going to show you later in this course. So it shows the list of all the premium features. And let's try for the word custom. Access to premium and custom connectors. That is one. How about custom actions? Yeah. Ability to use custom developed custom actions in desktop flow. So looks like this is a premium feature. All right. Now we'll talk about PowerFX. PowerFX is the universal low-code language of the entire Power Platform. It is like Excel-like formulas. Based on Excel-like formulas, you type in equal to sign, and just like how you add formulas in Excel, it works that way. It has evolved actually in the same way, like Excel formulas. And it is there in Power Apps, it's there in Copilot Studio. They have now brought this to Power Automate Desktop also. So it's a new way of building flows. My guess is probably they might entirely move into PowerFX and scrap the old approach. So using PowerFX in desktop flows, syntax and everything, you will get it from here. I'll show you an example. And there is a feature um, called as string interpolation, but this is a feature of programming languages like JavaScript and all. It's not a feature of PowerFX. The point I wanted to showcase here is string interpolation is also available in PowerFX, and what that feature is, within a particular string or a text, you can directly insert variables or expressions, and I'll show you that. And this link has got all the list of formula, PowerFX formula expressions, functions. I'll show you that on the editor itself. So Okay, for that we cannot use the conventional flow. There is a reason for that. I'll explain why. So when you click on new flow, so far we weren't enabling this. So because we are now going to see Power Effects, I will enable this, and either you can create a flow Power Effects enabled or it will be disabled, and this is the one time option you can choose. Once you select a Power Effects enabled flow and go inside and develop your flow, you cannot come back using a non Power Effects enabled flow. Okay, so I'll show you an example here. It's a powerful feature, and as I'm saying, perhaps Microsoft would go ahead with this way of developing flows. So only PowerFX enabled flows gets this statement at the top. So just to know, just for the developer to know that you have to build using PowerFX syntax and everything. And let me simply quickly do something in PowerFX to show you. So I take a display message, and when I click this, earlier we had only the variable picker, but this time we now have the select function button, which is only enabled for PowerFX enabled flows. So when I click on this, it shows a list of all the functions based on their categories. And even every PowerFX should start with an equal to sign. If I type here equal to, and let's say I want to get the length of some text. Did you see? As soon as I typed, it showed me IntelliSense. Yeah, and if I do equal to, I can even take a function of, let's say, today. So direct date time you can get, or if we want time, then we will do it now function, because it gives time also. Earlier what you were doing, you used to use the get current date and time function. Now if you simply do this and run this, it will show you the date time because of that PowerFX function, right? Let me give a few more quick samples. So I'm using a first name, and this time I do a uppercase of, can you see it shows me the syntax also? What is the syntax of that upper function? A text and a description, text value to convert to uppercase. Now inside this, I'll intentionally give everything in small. Okay, now I do a Control C, Control V. This time I will give the last name of the person and intentionally give everything in caps and make this a lower function and remove upper. And this time, let's see what our variable shows. Did you see? It did not take that percent symbol, it took equal to. I'll just print this, and both the variables I'll show it in as a different example. So all the small case of John should be converted to caps. Yes, it worked fine. Something different I'll show. Okay, perhaps I'll make use of this. So I already know that there is a function called as text, which is used to format date time. Now what I'll do is equal to text. I open a bracket. Either it asks for me the existing variables. I can see 3 variables in the existing variable pane. It has given me 3, or I can give something of my own, today function. No errors. Okay. And I can simply display this now. This is our date variable. I'll run it from set variable. So you don't even need to get today's date. Simply by doing today and circular braces, it will capture today's date. And 3M means the wordings of the month. It has converted correctly. This was about power effects. You can simply go here and type in, you can even do a, if I want to find the length of a string, as soon as I type L, it gives me many things. E, N, I can get a length. Okay, so this is about power effects. Now I'll show you about the string interpolation in power effects. I've disable. So we'll keep first name and last name as it is and directly use the string interpolation part right from the beginning. So because it is power effects, we need to add a equal to sign, and string interpolation strings can start with dollar so that it understands that this is string interpolation. And now the string that I'm going to type, hi, my first name is a variable from here, but that variable should be in curly braces. Let's complete the entire syntax and then try to understand it. And my last name is, again within curly braces, the last name. So what we did is, strings start with double quotes and end with double quotes. So our entire string is from here till here. But we have inserted variables also inside a string. This is called a string interpolation. And equal to sign should be at the beginning because it is power effects, and because it is string interpolation, we need to use dollar. Now let's check the output of this. Okay, perfect. So hi, my first name is, because we used it to uppercase, it has converted to upper, and the last name is, it has inserted the variable for the last name in lowercase at the right position. So this is about string interpolation. Any queries about it? Okay. So that's about power effects, and here in this link you will find a list of functions that I showcased: length, upper, lower, even the text function, then the string interpolation part. Everything is mentioned in these two links. Have a look at it.